to another episode of The American Entrepreneur, where we interview entrepreneurs all over the world. As long as they do business in the United States, we want to hear their story. Maybe they went through something and they've learned something very valuable they want to share with you guys. The guest we have today, his name is Gabriel Anaya, and he's a mobile entrepreneur out in Oregon. Welcome, Gabriel. I really appreciate this, man.
Hey, Mike. Thanks a lot for having me, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. I know we did this. We had a conversation before. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties, so let's go right back into it, man. Who are you? What got you into the world of entrepreneurship, and maybe something you've learned along the way?
Okay. Well, thanks for that introduction. Obviously, my name is Gabriel Anaya. I'm from the Portland, Oregon metro area. I was born in Seattle, was raised in Southern Oregon by immigrant parents from Mexico. And, from a young age, that's basically what I lived with, what I lived around. My mom and dad, immigrants from Mexico, worked regular jobs in the United States, but, wanted to have something of their own. And that is what I grew up with. Ever since I was 2 years old, we moved from Seattle down to a really small town in Southern Oregon, on the coast of Oregon, right on the border of California, called Brookings. Probably less than probably from anywhere less from 5,000 to 7,000 people. So I grew up in a really tight-knit community, and my family was very well known in that community because we had such a successful Mexican restaurant for over 15 years.
Wow.
So we were very well. They worked their asses off every single day they were there. I remember in the beginnings when I was, young enough to remember, probably 4 or 5 years old. We lived up the street from the restaurant, and my parents would wake up first, go to get the food ready, prep everything. Then me and my mom, we would walk down to the restaurant. It was probably a 5-minute walk, and I would have my little table in the corner, and my mom would be, serving the customers while my dad was making the food and everything. And so I grew up around the business mind. My parents never pushed anything on me. They never said, Gabriel, I want you to be a business owner, or I want you to have a restaurant. They never did that. They just kind of let me figure out things on my own. I mean, I grew up with the love of soccer, love of sports, but I knew at one point in my life I wanted to own something. I wanted to be my own boss, because the world we live in now, it's not necessarily easier to be your own boss, but it's more simple. We have so many resources available to us that it's incredible. Anybody that has a connection from their phone can run a successful business. People can go on through their phones and go take classes from their phones. They can basically go to college through their phones or through their tablets or laptops, and it's incredible. And so, growing up, I thought maybe the restaurant business, maybe that's something I want to do. But, I saw my parents be very successful, but I also saw the stress that comes with, being a small business owner. I'm a big fan of Robert Kiyosaki, The Cash Flow Quadrant. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I've read The Cash Flow Quadrant. I read, what's that other book that he has? I think it's called...
It's Why We Want You to Be Rich is with Trump. I just read that one.
Yes. I read that one too. And so I learned, after graduating high school, that, the cash flow quadrant, if you're in the S quadrant as a small business owner, where basically you are the system.
Well, yeah, just for the audience out there, the cash flow quadrant is basically you're an employee or a small business owner or a business owner in general, and then there's also investors. So yeah,
yes.
I love that.
Okay, and if you look at that, there's the left side and there's the right side. The left side, I mean, you can make money in either quadrant. That's not the issue there. The issue is what type of money are you making and what type of life are you living. Now, I saw my parents make a lot of money, but I also saw them, lose a lot of money. We had some great times growing up, and we had some harder times when I, turned 18 and beyond, because in the summer of 2008, my mom and dad in a new restaurant in the same community, same area, but the timing was just wrong. The timing was just bad. I mean, we bought a restaurant. We completely renovated it from the inside out to the outside also. I mean, and it was, I was in there helping my parents, prepping, helping, during my summertime. And then by the time I graduated, less than a year later, that restaurant was closed and we had to move because it wasn't working there anymore.
Now, at that point, did you close down the original restaurant, or was this something you're just franchising out, creating the second restaurant?
You know, it's funny because my dad has had the options of franchises, but he kind of kept it more in the family. He has, you know, in the community that we lived, in the small town of Brookings that we lived, we were in three locations my whole, like, 15, 17 years that we lived there. The third location is what, because we started off in a little restaurant right off the highway. Then we went down to the port because it's a coastal town, and then we went to more of the downtown area of the town. But that was, the summer of 2008. That just, was very bad timing, and we couldn't do it. And it was difficult because, we were so used to, like, my mom and dad working a couple days a week. We had really nice cars. We took nice vacations. But there was a couple years where we didn't do anything. I mean, I saw our cars get repoed. I saw our motorcycle, our ATVs get repoed. I saw my mom, like 2 or 3 times go to the hospital based on, stress attacks and panic attacks. And it was difficult, but, like, I remember seeing that, and I'm like, that I don't want that to happen. I mean, you got to go through failures. You got to go through lessons and adversity to be a successful entrepreneur. But I got to kind of see, okay, maybe there's something better. Maybe there's something out there that I can really connect with. And that's when I was 18 years old, my freshman year of college, because I had a soccer scholarship to go to Southern Oregon University. Me and my friends, we got involved in a painting company, where we were able to have our own business and kind of go out there, do marketing, do cold calling, do estimates and all that. And that was my first preview, my first taste and experience of a small business owner. And at first it was exciting because I'm like, wow, this is me. This is all about me. I'm
Yeah.
such a great team and all that stuff. But I saw that it was a lot harder than I experienced it. And I never had any experience in anything besides, maybe the restaurant business. But it was such a valuable lesson because it showed me what I did not want. And I respect every business owner, every form of business owner, whether it's a small business, big business, investor, whatever it is. I respect them so much because they have taken the risk to go against the norm, to go against what society really teaches you. Because what does society teach us? Go to school, get a good education so you can get a good job, work for a company, and then they'll pay for you the rest of your life. That doesn't happen anymore, man. That is not real no more.
In the 80s, they started taking away pensions. So now all of a sudden, you can't even live off of all the effort, the sweat, and everything that you put into that company. So it's basically retiring. That's almost becoming an unknown term for people who get jobs nowadays. So that whole mentality is going away. Companies don't want to take care of you when you leave that company. So, you just have to start thinking for yourself a little bit more survival mode. And that's why I think that entrepreneurs are thinking that mentality early on in their life. Okay, hey, if I'm going to do something and work my ass off, it better be for something that I'm going to have for the rest of my life.
Exactly. It's about, building something that can pay you for the rest of your life. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to build something and never work again the rest of your life. I believe true entrepreneurs are always hustling. They always want to grind. They always want to try something new. They always want to invest in something new. They just have these ideas in their heads that they want to come to fruition. They visualize them, so they visualize them into existence. One of my early mentors in my life always said, visualize your dream life into existence. Just visualize it every single day. Have it in front of you on what exactly the type of life you want to live. Because we all grew up and we all got the same question, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
Mike, what do you want to be when you grow up? Gabriel, what do you want to do when you get older? So it's like, okay, I can do this, but what type of lifestyle am I going to live? And I remember you and I were talking that it's not, I don't think that's the right question, because the better question should be, how do you want to live? What does your lifestyle want to look like?
Right.
And you got to find a vehicle that can give you that lifestyle. You got to ask people.
That's funny. I just was talking to somebody about, I don't know if we mentioned it yesterday, but vehicle. You got to build the right vehicle to get you where you want to go. I drive a Jeep Wrangler because I want to go wherever I want, whenever I want, and not to worry. So it's basically just like a business where you have to build and create the right vehicle to go wherever you want, whenever you want, and be free to do so.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And, you got to really ask yourself, if you could live life on your own terms, would you do it? Even if it required you to do something different. Against, all your friends that maybe have regular jobs or work for big companies. I have friends that work in the financial industry. I have friends that work in the construction industry. I have friends that have restaurants. I have friends that are insurance brokers and all that. And I love them all to death. But if they don't have the life that you want, love them, hang out with them, serve them, respect them. But you should not listen to anyone who doesn't have the life you want or the marriage you want or the bank account you want, or the spiritual, strength that you want.
That's good. Yeah. There's so many people in my life that I don't look at as like heroes, as in, okay, I want that job or that lifestyle, but they have the mentality and the drive, maybe. So I kind of take that from them. And then maybe there's somebody out there who has that relationship with maybe their wife or whatever. And you're like, oh, man, I have something to learn from them. But the people who
Exactly.
don't have that dream life, you
Hmm.
can't listen to. You really can't
Exactly.
listen to.
No, you cannot. And since I've been married for 8 months now, and I'm happier than ever. I'm so blessed, and I definitely married up. Oh, big time, big time. Sometimes I still ask, well, why me? Why me? But hey, I'm blessed for that. But every time I meet like an older couple, I always like to ask, how long you've been married? And they'll tell me, over 15 years or over 20 years, and I'm like, wow. And I just, I always ask, so what's the secret, or what would you tell me being a newlywed, less than a year of marriage? And there's mentors everywhere in your life. You can meet
For
them
sure.
they're everywhere, whether it's people people you meet, or in books that you read. The secret to success is hidden in books.
Oh, for sure. I didn't learn the way I should have until I started really sinking into reading things that I enjoyed and things that were going to help me in life. Personal development, motivational, true stories of other people. I started to capture all of that and apply it to my own life. And I read every day. I try to read every day. And if not
That's
that,
it.
I always try to read a book a week. That's another metric of mine. I try to get
That's
done.
good. That's good. Yeah.
But it's
Hey, what?
important.
It is very important. Now, me, a little brief history on me. I was an athlete growing up. I was an athlete growing up. I loved sports. I played soccer, basketball, football. I did wrestling, and I only really had good grades when it was sports season, because I did not want to get cut, or get benched,
That was your
because
incentive. That was your
yeah, that was
incentive.
my incentive. But I wasn't really always a good student. I was more like a C B student, basically.
Me too.
And it's not that I didn't respect school and I tried hard. Yeah, I tried hard, but it's kind of hard to really put in that effort when the teacher is teaching something like, for one, I hate math. I've always hated math, and the business projects that I work on is financial. I'm in the financial industry. I'm in the finance industry, so I deal with numbers. But it's a different type of numbers. It's a different type of topic. So growing up, I was one of the things that I always got, people always told me, especially in sports, is I was not very athletic. No, I was not the athletic, not athletically built. I had to work my ass off to really outwork other people that were far more talent. I was the guy that had a lot of heart. I hated to lose. Losing was some of the things that I just absolutely hated. After like a tough loss, I was the guy in the locker room, punching the lockers, yelling at my teammates, or, crying because I was so devastated that we lost. And I believe that carried on to my business projects. Because I believe, like, whether it's athletes, people in the military, and shout out to everyone that's in the military out here that that's watching the show. I love you guys. Thank you so much, because it's you guys that gives us our freedom in this country.
For sure.
Not the
For
president,
sure.
the soldiers gives us our freedom in this country. So thanks a lot, everyone. And I think that can transition to any business project, because it's the mentality. It's like you're conditioned to really, play till the whistle. It's basically life or death, sink or swim. Take that mentality into business, and you won't have to worry about it, even in your beginning stages when you don't see the results yet. I'm definitely not where I want to be right now. Me and my wife are definitely not where we want to be right now, but we have the vision and we have the faith that it's going to happen. It's gonna happen. Like we talked about the other day, the law of the bamboo tree.
Oh,
Bamboo
please tell me.
tree.
I love this. I've never heard this until you told me about it. So please make sure you
That's it.
touch on this.
I read. I mean, there's actually a book on like kind of like the philosophy on success when it comes to the bamboo tree. Now, the bamboo tree, if anybody knows it, it's out of Asia, and it's really really tall, probably like 90 feet long, and they're really really strong. Trees or whatever they are. And here's something that a lot of people don't know. They really take the analogy of the bamboo tree to success, any kind of form of success, whether it's education, whether it's business, whether whatever it is. Now, when the plant of the bamboo tree gets planted, the farmer has to be disciplined every single day to water it, day in and day out. First year, nothing. Second year, nothing. Third year, maybe 2 feet at the best. Now, a lot of people, this is where they kind of go wrong when it comes to projects, life, business, whatever it is. They look at that and they're like, this is not working. Every single day, I'm watering this,
The
I'm watering
return
this,
on
and this is not
investment is
working.
low. Return on investment, what's happening? Nothing's happening, right?
Exactly. But they just got to have that long-term thinking. So keep watering it, keep watering the tree. Fourth year, okay, then maybe it grew another 10 feet. But then that fifth year, it goes from like 10 feet to over 90 feet in 1 year.
Wow.
And it was, and a lot of people ask, do you think that tree grew in that fifth year, or did it grow those 4 previous years? It was those 4 previous years because it was discipline day in and day out. Have you ever heard of Darren Hardy?
Darren Hardy, no. I think you mentioned this before. Him and Eric War are two people I have to look into. I don't know those guys.
Darren Hardy wrote this book called, I have one of his books here, and I'll show it to you later. But one of the books that he wrote that is so amazing that probably gives you the best analogy for that is called The Compound Effect. The compound effect basically describes, just like compounded interest, you make an investment on something little by little over time, compounded interest is going to pay you dividends for the rest of your life. Now, the compound effect talks about this. Whatever you want to get good at, whatever it is, business, health, marriage, social skills, whatever it is, you got to do daily disciplines, like daily deposits in this bank every single day. And over time, you're going to be like steady, and then all of a sudden over time, you're going to shoot straight up. Because you were disciplined enough every single day in and day out, to do what you need to do to move you forward.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, whether it's me telling my wife every single day, baby, you're beautiful, I love you, thank you so much for everything that you do, for cleaning the house, cooking, whatever it is. If I do that every single day and appreciate her, what do you think my marriage is going to look like in 5 years?
Exactly, man. It just keeps growing. You keep building on something, a strong foundation. Obviously, you have to keep doing the right things every day. And it's just, and I talk about this with social media. I mean, people have to spend X amount of time on social media. People have to spend X amount of time making good contacts. And maybe it doesn't lead to something the first year, maybe the first couple of weeks, months, 2 years, but eventually, fire is going to start. That happens
Exactly.
in every part of your life.
Exactly. And I was never a big reader, never really a big reader. It wasn't until I was about 19 years old I got introduced, to network marketing, and I love the industry. I believe the industry is, it's the statistics. I can't even say the word. The stats and the facts are out there, man. The stats and the facts are out there that this industry is huge. It's bigger than the NFL, and plus, it's made more millionaires than any other industry in the history of business. That's just a proven fact out there. Research, do your research. But I got introduced to personal development basically through that industry. I got introduced to some people. I love them to death still. We're no longer working together, but I love them to death because they have, basically propelled me and prepped me to my new projects now. Because right now I'm working Forex projects, foreign currencies, stock equities, with a referral program basically. We work with a company right now that basically teaches you three basic things. It's kind of like a financial fitness company. Now, the three things that they teach you, the project that I'm working on right now, they teach you how to find money in your own budget right now. They're not asking you to go get a loan. They're not asking you to, get a loan from a bank or a family member because
Stay away from debt. Stay away from debt.
Never. If anybody knows Dave Ramsey, that financial education guy,
Yeah.
number one, financial 101, never borrow money for an investment. Never borrow money for an investment. Now, basically, because a lot of people, to start a traditional brick and mortar business, you need a lot of capital. But nowadays, it's so much more easier to be able to, how would you say, start your own business. So let me tell you this. Okay, so they teach you how to find money in your existing budget.
Okay.
They basically kind of give you kind of like a financial boot camp. Where are you spending money? Are you spending so much money going out? Are you spending so much money, eating out? Are you spending so much money on your coffee, on movies, whatever it is?
Know where your money's at, right?
Know where your money is at, exactly. Number two, they help you grow your money in the financial markets. They give you tactics, they give you strategies, they help you plug in to market experts that can teach you how to grow your money in the financial markets, whether it's stock equities or Forex trading. And you can have access to that. And the third thing, how do you keep more money? If you're an employee, a W-2, you probably get taxed 30 to 40% right off your paycheck.
Right.
But when you're a 1099 and the U.S. government recognizes you as a business owner, you have over 100 tax breaks. So it's a proven fact out there that even though, no matter how much you make, when you're a 1099 business owner, you have so much more tax breaks that you basically pay so much lower than in taxes.
Right. You
Because
take
because
some
you're a
of your money and
1099.
reinvest it into your company, which is basically going to
Exactly.
be a write-off, and it's there to help businesses grow and to create jobs. That's why it's there.
Exactly, yes. And, this propelled me to become a better person because I struggled with confidence growing up because I always, uh, you know, my parents were, God bless my parents. I love them to death. And they worked so hard to give me the life. And my younger brother, who just recently turned 18, who's a star fanatic in soccer right now. They worked so hard to give us what they couldn't have. My parents came from, my mother's family was a little bit more well off. My dad's family, he was the one that, came from like, the streets of Guadalajara. And he had a poor upbringing, very poor upbringing. So they taught us to be grateful for what we have and to always have the attitude that tomorrow is going to be better. My parents sacrificed everything so that our family could have something. And I believe that's what they taught me. They taught me how to really appreciate what we have. Even when we had the really nice cars and took the nice vacations, and then another chapter in life where we basically, couldn't really do much. We couldn't go on vacation. Our cars were being taken away. Our ATVs were being taken away. It's like it was very humbling experience knowing that can happen to anybody.
Emotional ground zero is an eye-opening experience, I think, where
Hmm.
you start to really, really appreciate even the smallest things in life. And I think that emotional ground zero, maybe it doesn't have to be completely ground zero, but to have that feeling of loss is like, man, some bad days are really not bad days.
Exactly. And another, I've had so many mentors in my life, especially going through my network marketing industry experience. And, whatever happens to you, you really got to count it all a blessing because it's preparing you for something better. It's making you stronger. You can't be upset on what happens to you. It's not about what happens to you. It's about how you react to those adversities. And as entrepreneurs, when we get adversities, we either, I believe true entrepreneurs, they come out swinging. If they're backed up against the wall, they got to, throw punches to get out of it. Because not only does your life depend on it, but if you have a family, you got to think about them too. You got to think about them and knowing, like, one of the things that I always kind of carry around with me is not only a picture of me and my wife on my phone, but there's something that I always, kind of have a little quote on my phone, and it says, "Don't let your wife starve."
Oh, that's a good way to put it, man. Just
Because
just
if,
to
if I ever get
remind yourself it's more than you. It's bigger than you.
Yeah, it's bigger. Yeah, it's bigger than me. And there's so many things that we want to do and we want to accomplish. But going back to, like, the personal development. I think books are so important because they're going to teach you what you probably won't learn in a college campus or in regular school. Now, teachers are amazing. They work so hard. I believe teachers need to be paid more. But right now, I think the real teachers can be found in bookstores.
For sure, man. And that's what this is all about. Is basically you talked about it before, where everybody has something to teach another person. There's mentors everywhere,
Yes.
and you can cut out a lot of bullshit in life if you just read and listen to people who have done it and actually risked it all to make their dream come true.
Exactly. And that's why I believe that, getting self-educated and having amazing mentors in my life who never wanted anything but the best for me and, took me in a different direction, even though we weren't connecting on, certain business tactics or business strategies. I don't put down any company. I don't put down anybody that I used to work with, even though we're not working with right now. I mean, I've lost business partners. I've lost, mentors. The painting business didn't work out. My first company in network marketing, it's always on me. It's always on me. I'm never going to blame anyone else but myself. And just because I'm not working with, a certain person or a certain company doesn't mean I'm going to blame them. This is all about me and this is about my life and where I want to go forward. And that whole experience helped me, expand my horizons and expand my mindset to really know what's out there. And I just wanted to share a little bit, entrepreneurs out there or anyone who wants to become an entrepreneur. Let's say you have a regular job. Let's say you have a regular job that's a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and you got to pay the bills. That's completely fine. Pay the bills. Work your ass off at that job, But once you get out of that job, like in the evenings or the weekends, invest time into your project and invest into something that's going to be able to replace that if you don't want to be in the job world the rest of your life. If you want to be a business owner, especially in the 21st century, there is seven principles that you really have to look at when you want to invest in your own business. And I'm going to share them really quick because I believe this will be very valuable.
Please, I love this.
And this helped me really look at, okay, what type of business do I want? And what type of lifestyle is this business going to give me? So 7 principles if you want to have a business in the 21st century. Principle number 1, do not use brick and mortar. What does that mean? Do not have a physical location.
Agreed. Totally agree.
Do not have a physical location. Why? Because you're limited.
You're
limited
there,
to that. Yes.
Stuck.
Exactly. You're limited to that area. Number 2, no traditional paid advertising.
You mean nice and commercial, TV commercial, radio, newspapers. I've done them all. Terrible idea. I've wasted. I did a commercial a couple years ago for my first company, and it cost me, let's say, $2,000 to run it for 30 days, and I didn't get any extra hits on my website. Come on, wasted time, wasted money.
You really got to look at how are people communicating, how are people seeing things. More people watch commercials on YouTube than on TV.
Yeah, there's no doubt, man.
More on YouTube, on social media. Social media is a gold mine for businesses and for advertising. You can be your own personal brand. That's what my Instagram is all about. I'm not promoting products. I'm not promoting business opportunities. If somebody wants to talk to me and say, hey, Gabriel, what do you do? I'll tell you what I do, but that's private,
Yeah.
I want to promote myself. I want to promote myself in the type of lifestyle that I want to live and the journey that I'm on, And it's not all about me. Every success, I give it all. I give it glory. This is not about me. I'm a man of faith, so I always give glory to God. And this never comes from me. Any success, that all comes from Him. So I always let people know, this is not about me. This is about my faith because I'm blessed. I'm blessed with that. So going back, number 3, ultra low overhead. I asked my dad one time, Dad, how much does it cost to run this restaurant? They're very successful. I mean, they've had, a number of restaurants. Right now they have one that's in Northern California, and it's been open for probably over 10 years, maybe 12 years now. And that restaurant, my dad says, I don't know what is it about this restaurant, but it's been blessed since like day one. They were basically it was what he says, like it was profitable since day one. It has not stopped being profitable, and they are so blessed. And I just asked him one day, I'm like, hey, Dad, how much does it cost, give or take, to overhead to run this restaurant? And he's like, well, with food orders and paying the employees and all the overhead for a regular traditional brick and mortar business, $22,000
a month.
$22,000 a month.
I was gonna say 10,000 would be a high number. 22. Holy moly. Okay.
Yeah. Crazy, huh? So find something that is a low overhead. Number 4, I love this one. No traditional business hours.
9 to 5. Get rid of it. Get that out of your head.
Get rid of it. The internet is 24/7. So you should have a business that's 24/7.
Exactly.
And I can honestly say that I have had businesses, and I and still do right now, that I have a project that I'm working on where Warren Buffett says, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you're gonna work for the rest of your life. In my first project, where I had online reselling, online marketing of products, there was actually one time I can honestly say that I woke up the next day and I looked at my my volume for my business volume, and I made money while I slept because I had a client in Southern California. I was living here in Portland. I had a client in Southern California buy some products from me. It wasn't a big profit. It was probably like a $15 profit.
Doesn't matter.
But doesn't matter. I woke up and I'm like, oh man, I just made $15 and I didn't do anything.
Beautiful. And
so what that means is no traditional business hours. You work when you want to work, wherever you want to work.
Love it.
If you only can invest, a few hours a day during the week, awesome. If you can invest a full Saturday, awesome. My one of my mentors, I have a lot of mentors and I learned so much from them. One of my mentors always said, from 9 to 5, you make a living. From 5 to midnight, you build your life.
Oh, man, that's good. These are good phrases, man.
Jeff Bezos, the owner
Amazon
of Amazon,
and the
he was
Washington Post.
yes, he was a banker while he was building Amazon. He was a banker during the day, and then at nighttime he worked in his garage and worked on Amazon.
Amazing.
It's amazing. Entrepreneurs start off, I believe entrepreneurs, they start off as employees because they need to pay the bills. But in the evening times, oh man, dude, they're on it. They're on fire. And I love that. I love that. Number 5, unlimited earning potential. There should not be a cap on how much revenue your business can produce.
Exactly. That's why you always have goals to keep going higher every year. Like Grant Cardone, I think you're a big fan of him. He basically says, whatever you set for this year, it better be up next year to keep going up.
Exactly.
You can't set limits. And that's why with a brick and mortar, you almost hit limits on certain things. With
exactly.
the online, I guess, non-traditional business, you can really keep going.
Exactly. Because, there's businesses that have great seasons and bad seasons. I've worked a lot with people that work in like the heating and cooling industry.
Yeah.
And there's some seasons where they're just kind of like, they're slow. Maybe in the wintertime, okay, we're gonna get a lot of heat. We're gonna get a lot of people that need heaters and all that stuff. Or even in restaurants. My dad always told me that in restaurant businesses, winter times are slow months. Winter times are slow months because a lot of people are staying home. A lot of people are staying home. They're not going to really go out as much. So you really got to find something that no matter, like, can you imagine the guy that invented toilet paper?
Yeah. Oh, man.
It may not be sexy, but hey.
You can make money doing whatever. If
yeah,
there's a need
exactly.
for it, if there's demand for it, you're onto something.
Exactly. So find something that's going to give you an unlimited earning potential. Number six, global reach, which goes kind of back to brick and mortar. If you only have a business and let's just say I open a restaurant here in Portland Metro because I live in the town called Beaverton. Let's say I open a restaurant in Beaverton. Well, maybe I only have Portland Metro or maybe just the west side of Portland as my clients. Because, I live in the west side of Portland. Unless there's a really amazing restaurant that I will drive, 20 miles across Portland to the east side, it's very unlikely. But you're so limited to the location where you're at. Find something that you can reach customers or business partners on a global scale. Bro, we have the internet. There's so many people on my Instagram that I just reach out to, or if they make a comment on a photo, I say, hey, thank you so much for the comment, bro. I really appreciate it. Where are you from? I know people from England. I know people from Spain, from Dubai, from Singapore, from Thailand. I mean, it's unbelievable. And who knows what can come from that?
Exactly, man. Make connections. And that's what this is. That's how I met you through Instagram, where I never would have if I didn't have a social media, but trying to reach globally. That's
exactly. The key. Yeah. And the last one, which kind of goes back to your type of product, is you need a consumable product and a renewable service. Something that's always going to pay you on a monthly basis. Something that someone either has to buy, use up and buy it again, or like a subscription, like Hulu or Netflix, or maybe somebody sells vitamins and they're taking vitamins every single month and there it is, or whatever it is. Find a product that people are always going to use, always going to need, no matter what, no matter how bad the economy is. Because I work, because one of my main products right now is money. Your investments,
Forex,
and
yeah.
Forex trading. Forex, a little history on the Forex market. The foreign currency market, which what Forex stands for, is the biggest financial market out there, bigger than the stock market actually, because the Forex market is a $5.5 trillion a day market. It's open 5.5 days a week. Because they don't. Because basically the markets open Sunday afternoon and they close Friday afternoon. Wow. So basically, you have access to a huge opportunity market that is global, and the cool thing is there's no central trading system. It's all done electronically. There's no central trading platform like the stock market or the New York Stock Exchange. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you really got to do your research. Because before I invested in my project right now, I did 5 months of intensive research because my previous company taught me how to do that. And real research. Don't listen to bloggers. Don't listen to people that have usernames and post negative things about it. Really do your research. Who's this company backed up by? Who you working with? Are they backed up by the Better Business Bureau? Search your industry. What Gary Vandertek always says: research, 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 research the market, and find out, is this something you want to invest in? Because you want your business to generate passive income, a product or service that people buy from you and over and over and over again. We all have passive and residual bills. Why
Right.
can't we have passive and residual income?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You build something today, it should make you money tomorrow.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Beautiful. All right, and I did want to ask you about ways to contact. I know you mentioned your Instagram, but Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, any ways for people to reach out to you? Because obviously you know your stuff, and I think you have a lot of advice to offer anybody if anybody had any questions regarding Forex or even just entrepreneurship in general.
Yeah, I mean, I always love to network with people, and I always want to learn from people because you never need to judge anybody no matter where they're at. I remember seeing this quote: a millionaire can teach you how to make money, a homeless man can teach you how to survive.
Oh.
So you can
I love
learn
this
something
stuff,
from
man. I
anybody.
love it.
You can learn anything from anybody. So my Instagram is where I'm most active, and my Instagram username is my first letter of my first name G, my last name Anaya, Anaya, and the number 23. That's my Instagram. I'm very active on that one. I make it a goal to post at least every day. Some days I post twice a day, but I'm very active on it. I'm in that every day. My
I love the stuff you
Facebook.
post, by the way. The quotes with the pictures and all that. Really nice stuff, man.
Yeah,
Keep
I
it up.
want to make it. I want to make it, kind of custom because there's a lot of Instagram pages that have like, random pictures from like a model or a city view or something like that. I kind of wanted to, kind of put a personal touch to it and kind of, distinguish myself from that. And here in the next handful of months, it's going to get awesome because in May, me and my wife are going back to Thailand and we're going to be traveling, through
Take
Southeast
pictures,
Asia
man.
and taking pictures. And it's like living the dream. And well, getting a preview of the dream, because a lot of people's like, oh, living the dream. Well, I'm working on my dream, man. I'm working on the dream. You
Everybody
know,
is.
everybody is. So that's going to be awesome. So and also, if people want to get a hold of me on my Facebook, my full Facebook name is Gabriel Adrian Anaya, Anaya Jr. Because my dad's name is Gabriel also. And I'm pretty active on there also. I just created another personal page underneath my personal Facebook called Gabriel Anaya. And if somebody adds me on my regular page, I'll invite them to there because I really kind of keep people updated on what's happening on my Instagram. And from there, those are the two main things. And if anybody wants to connect with me via Skype, we'll do that. If once we contact each other, through social media.
And what about the Forex? If they wanted to learn about it, can they go through you? Is there a website you recommend?
You can definitely go through me. You can even go to forex.com and have a little bit more research. But I'm so excited about the project that I'm working on because when I first invested in Forex, I had no idea on how to trade, invest, or anything because I have never been educated on that. Now I am learning, but here's the one thing I love with my business project. I'm not sitting in front of the computer looking at the graphs, looking at the trading platforms every single day, all day,
Right.
because I'm utilizing market experts and automated systems that are basically run by algorithms that read the markets, and I just plug in my Forex account, and I'll kind of show you what it looks like a little bit. I plug in my Forex account, and I'm out doing what I need to do, but I can start. I don't know if you can see that.
It's a little bright. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
There you go. Right from my phone, I can be trading right from my phone, and I'm not even doing anything. I'm trusting systems, market experts, and and programs, softwares run by algorithms. That just gives you the edge, and the advantage in the global markets.
Awesome.
So I mean, it's amazing. I've never seen anything like this, and this is huge, huge, huge. And so many people are excited about this. So if you want to know more about that and what's going on, definitely reach out to me. There's other projects that I like to work on. Like we talked about yesterday, I like to do reselling online. Whether it's books or you know, I always offer a lot of stuff that I don't. If there's something in our house that we don't use, I'll be like, you know, hey babe, let me sell this on, let me sell this online. You know.
Keep doing it, man. There's ways to make
Yeah.
money everywhere,
Yeah.
and that's why, you know, people always start complaining about money. There's ways to make money you just don't even understand. With
Exactly.
Amazon,
Yeah.
with eBay, it's
Hmm.
incredible.
Yeah, I still you know, I still have services, you know, with other companies where I can resell, like, you know, different types of products, whether it's like home care, health care, you know, personal care, whatever it is. You know, I still have access to all that. And one of the things that I'm actually doing in one of my old projects that I'm not active, you know, building a business, but I am servicing clients, is anything that I make from that, you know, consumable product business. Anything that I make, I keep none of it because I give it all to my wife's organization. My wife, her name is New, and she is part of an organization that is helping, you know, children around the world in third world countries that are at risk of being sold into the child sex slavery industry through
Wow.
prevention. Basically, what they do is they find areas or villages where there's a high level of risk for children, and they build homes, boys' homes and girls' homes, and they take them in, treat them, teach them trades, basically help them develop a normal lifestyle so they're not at risk of ever being sold into the industry. And that is something that is big on my heart because I got to experience that back in October when we went to Thailand, and I got to meet some of the kids and everything, and I got to play soccer with them. I mean, it was a blessing, bro, because kids that were at risk and were like basically, you know, a phone call away from, you know, being sold to a complete stranger for, you know, god awful things you can't even imagine. But the smiles on the faces, the goldness in their heart is incredible, and those are great experiences because it really humbles you and it makes you, you know, feel even more blessed for what we have here in this country. But knowing that that is something that I want to help out with, you know, I want to help my family, I want to help friends, I want to help my wife's organization because I believe in it with all my heart. You know, I believe in her and her parents and their vision on how they created this over 10 years ago. And I mean, they have done an amazing job. They're in over 12 different countries. They have helped over, you know, thousands of kids, and you know they ain't stopping. So one of my goals is to not only volunteer my time, because I believe that you should volunteer your time into causes that you have a heart for, but also if you can give financially, that is something that can make amazing things happen, because money is not evil in great hands. I mean, imagine if like Mother Teresa had Bill Gates' money.
Exactly,
Can you
man.
imagine
Money
that?
is not evil, okay? And that's
No.
another thing we talked about before. Is basically people who don't have money look at people who have money as, oh, they only are driven by money and that's evil. No, you could do so many good things with money,
Exactly.
and
So yeah, man.
that's the key.
Hmm.
You got to realize that making money will not only benefit you but everybody around you and people that you've never even met. So
Exactly, man. Exactly.
I love it, dude. Incredible stuff, man. I can tell you have a good heart and you know your stuff. So I want to stay in touch with you after this, man, if that's okay.
For sure, man. Thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it. And like, you know, keep hustling, man, and keep, you know, reaching out to other people, because your show is going to bring so much value, because there's so many people, you know, so many entrepreneurs out there can able to give you, you know, tenfold more value than what you can give them, man. And it's awesome. So, you know, I
That
appreciate what you do.
Thanks, man. And that's the point. Is really anybody has a story that they can share with other people that I think that can provide value in their life. And that's the whole goal of this: is that other people can become successful from other people's mistakes and even successes. So,
Exactly.
but thanks again, man. And guys, if you're out there, you're an entrepreneur, you have a story to share, we want to hear it. Remember, guys, the American entrepreneur will always create more. Take care.